Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be doing bossing, and thus I'm showing like my boss medal. Haven't been really around for like every single boss. I was playing when bosses first got released, but I just simply haven't been on BTD6 every single week, always doing the bosses every single time. So I don't have like the max amount of medals, but I have a decent amount, I would say. I also have some ranked medals, and some of them are kind of high, like top 50 kind of medals, which is pretty cool, I think, at least in my opinion. As you can see, Banana Farms is my favorite tower in the entire game by like almost 2x every other tower that I would place down. And Ben is my most played hero by almost 3x. So, yeah, I like money. Teehee. So, because you guys probably watch like other people like ISAB and etc. on like actually how you do bossing and blah blah blah. Mine's not really gonna be a guide, it's just gonna be more like, look at what I did. So, I decided that I could probably get away with placing down a banana farm and not placing down Oben immediately, just to eke out a bunch of extra money. Um, and it worked. I was able to get however much, like 3 rounds worth of money from a banana farm gives you, which, now thinking about it, I lose all the money from popping the balloons, so it might not actually be worth it. So don't be stupid like I am, and don't do that. um, but yeah, I made like an extra 120 money, and in exchange, I lost all of the money I made from balloons. But then I kind of just carried on and started ecoing. This week is very interesting because it's basically magic monkeys only, and you can only place down a certain amount of monkeys. But they also do give you banana farms, so it's not like absolute pain and misery. The only problem is like there's only really 2 good ways to get rid of all of the balloons Balloonarius sends out. Actually, 3 good ways now that I'm thinking about it. The first way is just wall of fire, like get yourself down some dragon's breath with like maybe even a berserker brew. The second way is to sorry about that. The second way is to get down a bunch of jungle druids of the jungle, and the last way that I just thought about is Mer Monkey's top path, because that does actually deal with balloons pretty well, actually. Then we're moving right on with this. So basically, I just farmed up a bunch. I got a ninja down because Oben wasn't quite enough on this map. What I wanted to do is I got a middle path banana farm, uh, IMF loan, so that way I can get the money from it. I was planning on taking the loan out and then building a RBF firm just to get the eco really rolling really quickly. But then I realized I could just sell the firm and actually get the money enough to actually get an RBF, and I wouldn't be in debt. So I decided that was probably going to be a more advantageous thing than going into debt, just to have an extra 10k. But since I sold the banana farm too, it would only be like 5k extra money. So anyways, we got one RBF and kind of just tried to steamroll with that. We also got whatchamacallit, freaking smoke bomb, flash bomb to deal with some of the balloons, and even got some druids to deal with it too. Eventually, we're going to make the druids help us with balloon defense, so it's all fine. Um, anyways, continuing on, I just kind of ecoed a little bit, got a little bit greedy. Now, something to note is I thought, like 3 jungle druids was going to be able to handle the Cerams. You'll see in a second, I was very, really terribly, overestimated these guys. It turns out that three of them cannot take out all of the cerams, which is crazy. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but not only is this just the normal version, it's not the elite version. But didn't they used to be able, like three of them used to be able to deal with it? I guess maybe after like some nerf that they did, when they were trying to make Jungle's Bounty more advantageous, they probably did that. But anyways, we went ahead and got Jungle's Bounty instead to go ahead and deal with the Rams. We in fact actually decided to just double up on it once we could, and it barely took out the Rams. So pretty happy that we did in fact get Jungle's Bounty. And it wasn't the fastest kill. We only had Sticky Bomb and the Druids, I guess, also were attacking it. But I was just trying to get money to make the other tiers faster, so not too much to complain about it. It took us how long? Uh, 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes, and then we also had some penalty accumulated, so it was almost like 3 minutes on the clock already. Which is kind of bad for speed bossing if you didn't know. Then we went ahead and also moved the druids into range of Oban and the banana firms, so that way they will actually be making us money. Especially since we only have 5 banana firms, it's really good to be able to do this. Now, just trying to like speed along. This isn't really meant to be a long video. You might have noticed. I just got a bunch of druids up after I got the RBF firms. If you didn't know, after they changed druids to give you cash per round, they give you more cash the higher tier the firm is, and thus getting a bunch of RBFs. Then the druids, it makes you more money in the end than getting the druids when you have, 000 farms, like it used to be. Then we also just got Master Bomber. He dealt with the second layer pretty fast. Um, Honestly, I think Master Bomber is low-key one of my favorite towers for tier 2 bossing, just simply because he destroys it. And if you're playing against Diamondback, if you guys don't know, he can throw so many bombs that it hits every segment of Diamondback and just tears Diamondback a new one. It's actually crazy. He is good for even like normal boss tier 5 is how good he is against Diamondback. But anyways, I digress. We just got more druids, and once we got druids, I was like, how can we make more money? And then I remembered we have Super Monkey, so I made Sun Temples a little bit later. I of course went for top path tier 5 uh Banana Central just so we make even more money. And then I went ahead and made the Sun Temple. I assumed 25,000 was going to be enough for it to be good enough as a support temple. It turns out you need like what, 30k instead of 25k? I never remember how much you need. It's like 50k or 30k. I do not know. But we went ahead and got it up for 25k. We also gave it magic sacrifice, so it should also be maxed out on magic. And then we also got a second one on the other side, so that way we can make a ninja army. Um, and I tried to make sure it was in the range of the other Sun Temple, so it gets like the range boost and the money is cheaper for it. Turns out I didn't give enough sacrifice for it to have a range boost, but it still makes it cheaper for me to get the second Sun Temple instead of. It saves me like 18k on the Sun Temple upgrade just itself, which is pretty nice. So yeah, we did that. On the next tier of boss, I was trying to figure out what the heck to actually do, and then I thought, oh wait, yeah, instead of making a ninja army, we could just go for a duck champion. He's pretty good at bossing. So we went ahead and we made a duck champion, and in fact, spoiler alert, you might notice my money and how fast I make money. It turns out we were able to, in fact, buy Legend of the Night, which We have 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock already with Legend of the Night. Eventually, once we get him, we killed the boss in, I think, faster than we did tier 1. Not by a lot, but I think it is faster than tier 1. We took like, what, almost 2 minutes for tier 1? And we took, what, 1 minute? No, I think it was like as much as tier 1, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we use almost 2 minutes to go ahead and kill it. Um, Legend of Night is pretty good, pretty solid. If you want to kill the boss, you might want to, sell a banana farm to do it even faster. But I'm greedy and I didn't want to, and I wasn't really tryharding. Then we decided to get the ninja army up and, get like the perma brew and everything. And then I stupidly decide, instead of getting, Ascended Shadow, let's just spam every other tower down and max them out. So that's what I did, which was, it wasn't like a terrible decision. We killed it kind of fast, but at the same time, I think if we got Ascended Shadow, it would have died a lot faster. So if you guys are like following kind of what I'm doing, get Ascended Shadow, you'll probably have a faster boss kill tier. As you can see, it's still not bad. Um, the problem is it's like half the damage things we have are abilities. So once the abilities kind of wear off after like the second skull, the damage starts to kind of drop a bit until we can get the abilities back up. Which, getting the abilities back up since we can't have a monkey sub isn't as easy to do as you would think. Bum bum bum. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, it turns out the transform tectonics probably not worth it. They only got like I think the highest one got like 24k pops, which since there's what 10 of them. No, there's 9 of them because I also have Berserker Brew. I mean Primer Brew. Um, so that's 9 times. So they got like 200k in total, which isn't really a lot. Who would have guessed that one? Anyways, we kind of breezed past all the rest of the rounds, but I'll just skip ahead anyways. Now, I was supposed to buy Wizard, but then I forgot to buy Wizard, so then I was like, I heard Druid Paragon is really good. Druid Paragon does a lot of damage. The only problem is you need money to do Druid Paragon. So I'm going to keep a little bit of cash. Hopefully I'm going to get, like, about degree 60, I'm thinking in my head. I got 1 degree below it. And then I said, screw it, I'm doing this either way. So then I sold off all of the random extra towers that I had to get more money, because if you didn't know, it does more damage the more money you have. Um, then we have to wait for its ability to go off cooldown. It's a pretty fast ability cooldown. We click it, and we go from doing like no damage to the boss dying extraordinarily fast. And I just see the pops on the druid literally go up at like Mach 10. Bro, this thing went from 0 pops to freaking having like only 3k, 300k off of what the boss had. It almost did all of the damage itself, which is crazy. And it's not even degree 60. Imagine if it was degree 60. Now, admittedly, it could have been popping other balloons too, because it does have, a universal damage, but it did quite a lot. So, yeah, that made that tier so incredibly fast. It's actually crazy. We also got like a pretty decent place. Um, I'm also gonna make one on Elite, but for now this is this video, so congratulations.